There's a most incredible report on eBay. Some of you will have heard of a report called the Listings Quality Report. It used to be available to us for several years, and then they took it away, which was disappointing for us to all find out. Some of us relied on the Listings Quality Report to tell us exactly what we were doing right and wrong on eBay. I've done this channel long enough now to know some of you just don't want to know what you're doing wrong. You don't care. You don't know. You don't want to know. If you're told what you're doing wrong, you're just going to do it anyway, and you'll justify it. Okay, that's fine. I don't mind. It's my job to tell you what eBay wants you, and it's your job to ignore me or listen to me or listen to somebody else. And if you don't want to listen to me, that's really okay, because the people on this channel who listen to me, they and I, we like not competition. So if you don't want to follow this channel's advice, like how to do your pictures, great, no problem. We won't lose any sleep. But I prefer everyone who watches this actually improve your sales and do what you're supposed to in order to make a whole lot more money. Otherwise, I'm just wasting my breath. Now, the Listings Quality Report is back. eBay didn't make a grand entrance with it, just as they didn't make a grand exit whenever they took it away. It just disappeared. But it's back, and it's a report each and every one of you should study if you want to make a lot of money. Now, eBay will tell you exactly, and I mean incredible detail, what you do right and what you do wrong. Not maybe every single aspect of your business, but a whole lot, and a whole lot more than you would expect. We're just going to touch the surface, produce this report on your account. If you're like me and you've got multiple selling accounts, do one for each account and look at where you're strong and where you're weak. Because if you can fix some of those weak areas, you're going to make more money. And that's why we're here. So the way you do it is you go to your Seller Hub, the Performance tab, click on Summary, and go to the Download Listings Quality Report, this report right here. And it's going to start downloading, and it'll take a few seconds up to a few minutes, depending on how large your account is. It will download to your computer's download folder. Now, you need to do this on a computer or a tablet or a laptop, not a cell phone. And when you click on your Listings Quality Report, if you have Microsoft Excel, then Excel will open your report. If you have Google Sheets, then use that. Go to Google Sheets and open up this report there. Now, I have to move it a little bit so that you can see it on my screen. So let me adjust. And here it is after some adjustments. Now, it says it's still in beta, so there's still updates to this. The first thing I want you to look at is in the lower left-hand corner. If you're using Excel, fine. If you're using the free Google Sheets on Google, that's fine. In the lower left-hand corner, you're going to see the tabs Summary, Guide, Google Shopping Rejections. Oh boy, are some of you not going to like this? Vintage and Antique, Collectible Figure. These are just categories of mine. It just picked 10 random categories and give you an idea of what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. So let's start with Summary, which is where it defaults to. The first thing you notice is all these yellow suggestions on the right that says you can improve 203. Now look, it's going to my Vintage and Antique category and says 203 of my listings can be improved. Wow. It's going to my Collectible Figures and Bobbleheads. That's where I have a lot of Funko Pops. 116 listings can be improved. Man, I've been telling you all what to do, and it looks like I don't do anything right. 203 listings of mine in one category need to be improved. Well, let me tell you about most of these that you will see right here. Most of these are frightening if you want to do right by eBay and list the way eBay wants you to list. A lot of these, if you see I've got over 200 listings that can be improved, I'm not doing something right. Most of these are eBay telling you that your promoted listings isn't high enough. Now, in code talk, that means eBay wants you to pay eBay a little more money. Now, there's no doubt if I were to increase, and if you were to increase your promoted listings on every one of your listings to eBay's suggestion, there's no doubt you will make more sales, but you're going to pay a whole lot more to do so. And many of those you do not need. The promoted listing percent is based on a category, not on an item. So if you have a rare one-of-a-kind item, or only 2 or 3 other people are selling it right now, you don't need to pay 10, 15% to get on the first page of eBay's search result, because there's only 3 of you to begin with. And if you're a good seller and follow all of this channel's suggestions, you're going to be at the top anyway. eBay's going to rank you above your competitors selling the same items, all things being equal. So most of these first frontline yellow, all of these listings can be improved. Most of those we're going to see are just your promoted listings. eBay wants you to pay eBay more money. And I'm just saying, if it were really needed, I would tell you to do it. But in general, that's not a big thing that you need to take away from this report. I can prove this. Recommendations: consider increasing promoted listings ad rate to 8%. Recommendations: consider increasing promoted listings ad rate to 8%. Recommendation: this is another category. Sheet music and songbooks. Consider increasing promoted listing ad rate. That's what they're saying is wrong with all of these listings. I'm going to ignore that. You will see other recommendations here, and those you should not ignore. Why do I not see other recommendations here? It's because I do everything right. Well, I do a lot of things right. Well, I do a the majority of things right when it comes to listing, because I practice what I preach. I do every single thing I tell you to do. So you're going to see other recommendations here that you should consider looking at. But don't worry too much about whatever you see here, because we're going to go and look at details. This says vintage and antique. If I want to look at all the recommendations of my vintage and antique listings, then I click vintage and antique tab and look at all these details. But I'm going to go back because I'm not ready to get you down into the weeds yet. So that's the first, just an overall summary. In general, ignore if it says increase your promoted listings. I want to go to guide. That's the second tab. Notice I came down to the bottom and clicked guide. This is a guide on how to use this report. Read through this. I'm not going to give you all this detail. You all don't like long videos. Some of you have told me in no uncertain terms not to talk as much as I used to talk. So I'm not going to go into all these details. I'm just giving you an overview. So the first tab, summary. The second tab, guide. That's just a how to look at this listing quality report. The third tab, what this is going to show us is how many of your listings have been rejected by Google Shopping. Always remember, eBay every night sends millions of listings to Google Shopping, and Google Shopping takes some of them and rejects a lot of them. Google Shopping doesn't like a lot of the ways you list on eBay, and they will not show your items. They don't like you putting words in the first hero picture of a listing. They don't like you having busy backgrounds in the first picture. You know, the first picture that all of you tell me you don't need to have a white background. Google really wants a white background. Now, they will take one that's not pure white now, finally, because they had to just throw in the towel and take more to sell more and make more of a profit. But we're going to look how many of my items were rejected. I truly do not know. I did not look at this report. I mean, I look at it regularly every month or so. I did not look at this report. I just generated and opened it right in front of you. I might have a whole bunch of listings that Google doesn't like. And if so, I will own up to them and tell you what I'm doing wrong. So on this account, I have about 2,000 items listed for sale. Click on Google Shopping Rejections and see what did Google say we will never put on Google Shopping and sell it for you unless you fix things. I'm going to click it now. Let's see. I always get this, but I didn't know for sure I would get it this time. Summary of rejections. Your listings are performing with no opportunities found. That means Google couldn't find anything wrong with any of my 2,000 listings. All of you that yell back at me and say, we don't have to have a white background, we don't have to do ABC, we can do whatever I say not to do. You can do it because you've justified it for your business. Your business is different. I'm pretty sure you're going to see a lot of rejections here on things that Google Shopping says we will never show these listings until you fix this. So you're going to have to look at that, and you're going to make a lot more money if you stop doing every listings problem that Google rejects. Just look at it, figure it out. It's going to tell you exactly what you're doing wrong, and you're going to sell a lot more if you just stop doing that wrong, okay? So that's what you're going to see here. I'm just going to look at one or two categories, and I'm done. This is a report you need to generate and study for every account you sell under. Most of you only sell under one account, and that's best. So let me go to, I don't know, vintage and antique, okay? This is what most of the categories are going to look like. It has a funnel, the number of impressions in eBay search, average, the number of click-throughs. So in an eBay search, how many items in this category are being shown in search results a day? 43 on the average. So where do I rank on 43 searches a day? I rank 23rd on eBay. Get that? This is a pretty small category I'm selling, and it says of the 31,000 sellers on eBay, I'm 23. I am 23 from the top spot in the number of searches of mine that appear per day on the average. That's pretty good. eBay really likes to show my listings in search results. Click through. How many of those that show actually get clicked? So of all the search results, this category of mine, those items appear in, how many actually get clicked? Only 0.34 out of 100. That seems pretty low. How high is that in general? Is that good or bad? I would like to see it better, but this is a hard category. Very limited vintage antique items. I rank 438 on eBay. I am 438th from the top of click-through rate, of people who will click on one of my items whenever I appear in a search result. Is 438 good? It's not too bad since there are 30,146 sellers in this category right now. My sales conversion. Once someone does click, how apt are they to buy something of mine? They see me in a search result, that's the impression. They click my item in a search result, that's the click-through. How many of them actually buy that item? 4.9%, 5 out of 100, 5 out of 100. Is that good? That's fantastic. I have a high sales conversion rate. I think, how do you know if you do or not? You look at this item. versus all other sellers, I am number 28 in this category, in this eBay category, vintage and antique. I am 28th from the top as far as sales conversion of my items. That's a very high sales conversion. People are likely to buy from me. You might say 5 out of 100 viewers. You might think that's not very much. That's a lot. That's the 28th best click-through rate on eBay in this category. That's really good. This isn't for me to brag. This is to show you that all I do is practice what I preach, and all the things you've said you don't need to do because your items are different. They're not. They're eBay. eBay treats us all the same. It doesn't matter what your items are. You need to do what eBay wants you to do to sell more things. Okay. Notice that here is where eBay says I should increase my promoted listings rate. Mine is 3%. It's actually 3.1%. Every item I sell right now is 3.1%. I vary that, but right now that's all it is. eBay says that I will get more search results being seen a day if I increase this from 3 to 8 or 7. To 7 or 8%. Well, I'm already 23rd from the top. If I leave it at 3, which is pretty low, I'm the 23rd highest search engine impressions on eBay right now. I'm really happy paying 3% and being the 23rd highest person on eBay right now in this category for search engine impressions. So I'm not going to change this. Most of the time, if you have a promoted listings, you really can't ignore this part of the report, especially if you've watched 1 or 2 of this channel's promoted listings videos, because I've shown you when to raise that, when to keep it low, when you don't even need a promoted listings. Okay, let's go down a little bit further. This is kind of a boring category, but impressions and search. Okay, let's look at this column right here. Recommended item specifics. I'm afraid to, I guess I can highlight this. Okay, so I have 4 recommended item specifics found on the average for every item in this category. The top 10% of items sold on eBay only has 3. The bottom 10% of all items sold on eBay only has 2. So I have more item specifics filled out that are recommended than other sellers. Brand doesn't really matter. Manufacturing part number doesn't really matter. These are item specifics that don't matter in the vintage and antique category. So you can look through this. For some of you, if you sell media, this is important, but old media, this doesn't really factor in. Number of photos. How many photos do I have on the average? 10.9 photos per listing in this category. How many does the top 10 on eBay show? Just 8. How many do the bottom 10% of items sold on eBay show? 5.5 in this category. I have more photos on the average than most people who sell in this category. That's because I like to make more money. The more photos you have, the more eBay will throw you up in the search results, the more click-throughs you'll get, and the more money you'll make. The proof is in the pudding. I have almost 11 photos per listing in this category. Most other sellers have 8 to 5. Number of keywords in the title. I've got 12.6. Most sellers have 11 to 10. Everything that's green is just really good. How many have free shipping? This is a bug still today. How many of my items in this category have free shipping? eBay says 100% of my items have free shipping. The answer is 0 of my items have free shipping. 0. I don't give shipping away. Shipping costs me money. I'm not going to profit off of it, but I'm not going to give it away. So this is a bug, and this appears in all of mine. eBay thinks I'm giving free shipping for all my listings on every category. I don't know why. Maybe this will happen to you too. That makes this meaningless if eBay thinks every seller offers free shipping. If eBay thinks I offer free shipping because there's a glitch in my account, that might explain why I'm selling so much right now. I don't know. But I think this is just a bug. Estimated handling time, 0. What does that mean? Most sellers take 2.1 to 2.4 days to actually ship what sells. I take 0 days. I do same day shipping. Well, what about on a Friday when I don't ship until Monday? That's 3 days. What if Monday's a holiday and I don't ship for 4 days? This says I ship 0 handling time. That's because I do. I ship exactly when I promise eBay I will ship, which is same day handling time, which sometimes, according to a video I showed you very early in this channel, which is really good, same day shipping sometimes means 4-day shipping, and you're never penalized for that. eBay says it takes me 0 days to ship something, and it literally, technically does. That's another reason why eBay likes to sell my things. That's another reason why eBay likes to put me 23rd highest in the search engine in this pretty small category of mine. Let's look at returns. How many of my items do I sell that I offer 14-day returns on? 0. How many of my items do I sell that I offer 30-day returns on? 0. How many of my items do I sell that I offer 60 days for a buyer to return? 100%. How many of my competitors do it? 2% and 1%. I blow my competitors away when it comes to returns. I say, buyers, you have 60 days to return it. I've told you all this over, and so many of you don't believe me. You think it's going to skyrocket your returns when you do this. And I've told you over and over, it doesn't. It decreases the number of returns you have. The longer your return window, the fewer returns you will have. I know it doesn't make logical sense. I've explained why it makes total sense from a marketing perspective. Marketers have known this for years. If eBay offered a 10-year return, I would choose it every time I listed an item. Look at how powerful my return is. Some buyers deciding, do I buy from him or her? Well, he gives me 2 months to return, and this buyer, like most others, only give me 14 to 30 days to return it. Well, I want 60 days to return it. So they're more likely to buy from me based on the amount they have to return an item. How many sellers accept returns? I accept 100%. It tells us here in green. The majority of sellers in this category, only 46 of them accept returns. And of the lowest 10% of sellers, notice these were 10%. So let me go back to the beginning. So top 10% of items in this category, bottom 10% of items in this category. So I accept 100%. That's always the top number. The highest 10% of sellers in this category, only 46 of them accept returns. Of the lowest selling people in this category, 10%, only 37 offer returns. Then we can go down to click through and all of that. But these first three rows are what are important. Seller paid returns. I pay 100% of all returns from my buyers. I don't care what the reason is, I'll pay the return. How many do my competitors pay? The top 10% of sellers in this category, only 15% of them offer free returns. I don't know why you would do that. You'll get a lot fewer returns if you offer free returns. I know it doesn't make logical sense. I know that a lot of you will fight me on this because your business is different, but it's not. Promoted listings. 95% of my listings are promoted. A few in this vintage category are not promoted because I literally do have just one-of-a-kind item on eBay. If anyone searches for my item, mine's the only one that really is going to match. eBay will have to just put other stuff down there that really doesn't match the search. I don't have to pay promoted listings on every item, neither do you, on a very rare category. But most of the time, I do promoted listings at 3.1% right now. How many order discounts do I offer? None. However, if they offer multi-buys, so if they buy more than one item, 100% of my items have a discount. I like doing that. I would rather ship 2 items and give them a little break on the price than sell 2 items separately, wrap 2 items separately, make a little bit more money per item, but have to do a lot more work and I'm out more shipping. Or my buyers are out more, just the whole thing. So I always give a discount if buyers buy more than one. Sell event, markdown event. Right now, I'm not running one in this category. Best offer? Do you sometimes do a best offer on your item? I do it 100% of the time. I have no idea why eBay can't tell me, oh, that's because this is technically still the search results. But let's go down to click through and sell through. I offer 100% of my listings have a best offer. Make me an offer, I'll consider it. Only 51 to 35% of my competitors offer best offer. Why do I win? It's because I do things eBay wants me to do. ISBN, not really relevant on a vintage media category. Significantly not as described. Let's see how many complaints I've had from buyers. 0. Significantly not as described. None. Item not received. Let's see how many complaints I've had. 0. Let's see how many complaints. Let's see how many negative feedbacks I've had. 0. In 90 days, but you can also go years and get the same number for me. Actual handling time, 1 day. I know it's same day handling time, but that's a 1. This actually used to go negative if you would have same day handling time, and on a weekend you would actually take the mail on a Saturday to a post office to get it scanned. You would be early, so this number actually could be a negative number, but eBay kind of fixed that. It didn't make sense to a lot of buyers, and so my actual handling time is the best it can be, and that's 1. It's pretty amazing that competitors all have 1 day handling time. I don't believe that. I think this is a glitch. I don't think that's accurate. I know mine is accurate. I don't think theirs are. Remember, this report is still in beta mode. eBay's still working on some glitches, but overall, it's pretty accurate. Okay, that's the listing quality report. You need to be studying this so you can tell what is important. The next time you want to tell me pictures aren't as important as I make them, the proof is in the pudding. The next time I say you need to have longer return windows, you're going to argue against me. I want to say the proof is in the pudding. Look at your listings quality report and compare your return window versus people selling against you. And you're going to see it's not very good if it's not 60 days. If it's 60 days, you're going to be the best on eBay and you're going to make a lot more money. Your listing quality report monthly and take a look at the top 10 categories you're selling in and adjust what you do so that you're making more and more money all the time.